staff. A team of Federal Capital Territory health workers were thereafter stationed at the FCTA Secretariat and other designated locations from the 4th to 5th of March for the exercise. The lower chamber says Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and its subsidiaries are to appear before the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee on Friday or have a warrant of arrest issued against them. The national companies are to appear in the investigative hearing by the committee to answer for their financial operations following a query by the Auditor General of the Federation over dwindling revenue to the federal government. Committee Chairman Oluwole, who gave the directive, said the ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government were operating on the Treasury single account, while NNPC was using its subsidiaries to operate commercial banks without the knowledge of the Accountant General of the Federation. Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation may spend 102.96 billion naira on petrol subsidy this month, going by the recent pricing template for the commodity. Recently, a federal government agency, Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, had published the expected new lower and upper prices for petrol at retail outlets in March 2021, putting the rate at 209.61 naira per litre and 212.61 naira per litre respectively. It also put the ex-depot price of petrol for the month at 206.42 naira per litre and pegged the expected landing cost at 109.61 naira per litre. This is news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Let's now focus on pension and labor stories around the world. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has blamed the federal government as well as the Accountant General of the Federation over what it called the victimization of its members. It said the federal government had refused to pay its members' salaries despite the no victimization clause of the suspended strike. Chairman of ASU University of Ibadan, Ayo Akinwale, said the federal government failed to remit the deductions it made to the account of the union. The union warned that if pushed to the limit, withdrawal of work in the nearest future may be inevitable. In the United States, thousands of Wisconsin Teamsters celebrated after President Joe Biden signed the coronavirus relief bill into law. President Biden also ensured that the workers no longer have to worry about their pensions being cut in half. The American Rescue Plan includes the Butch-Lewis Emergency Pension Plan Relief Act of 2021, which directs the Pension Guarantee Benefits Corps to allocate billions of dollars to avoid a drastic cut. A member of the Wisconsin and Green Bay Committee to Protect Pensions, Brad Wong, said many of those retirees have come to depend on payment to survive. We are still on to news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM Ibadan. Now to other stories. Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni says he's still looking at which of the vaccines to go for days after his government kicked off mass vaccination against COVID-19 using the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. It was gathered that presidents across the continent have been publicly receiving the jabs to counter skepticism about the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. President Museveni said he had not yet been vaccinated because he's quite careful and well protected by the system. Meanwhile, former diplomat Bekani Kindemariam, who resigned last week as the deputy chief of mission at the Ethiopian embassy in Washington, says war and conflict is everywhere in the Horn of Africa nation that no media was covering. He told newsmen that without evidence, there are ongoing conflicts in Oromia and Benishangul Metika regions that are underreported. The former diplomat urged the United States to speak out more on the Tigray conflict because people are dying. An infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, has urged former United States President Donald Trump to encourage his supporters to get vaccinated against COVID 19. Dr. Fauci said it will make all the difference in the world if the former president used his incredible influence among Republicans to push them to accept coronavirus jabs. It will be recalled that Trump, who downplayed the threat of the virus while in office, urged people to get vaccinated late last month during a conservative political gathering in Florida. The Netherlands has become the latest country to suspend the use of the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccines with concerns about possible side effects. The Dutch government said the move, which will last until at least the 29th of March, was a precaution. The Republic of Ireland earlier made a similar decision over reports of blood clotting in recipients in Norway. But the World Health Organization said there is no indication of a link between the vaccine and blood clots. The announcement made by the Netherlands and Ireland followed similar moves by Denmark, Norway, Bulgaria, Iceland, and Thailand. In the Paris region this week as hospital struggles to keep up with a surge in cases. With the transfers, officials hope to avoid a new lockdown for the roughly 12 million people in and around the capital as they race to step up a vaccination drive that got off to a slow start. The government has already ordered weekend shutdowns for the northern Pas de Calais region, where transfers of COVID 19 patients to less crowded hospitals began, began earlier this month, and in the Mediterranean region surrounding Nice. At least 4,100 COVID patients currently in intensive care nationwide, and 1,100 are in Paris area hospitals. Myanmar's military has imposed martial law across more districts following one of the deadliest days of protest since February's coup. At least 21 people were reportedly killed in the city of Yangon, with additional deaths reported across the Southeast Asian nation. The violence came a day before the country's ousted civilian leader Suu Kyi was due to appear in court. Pro democracy protesters are demanding the release of Bisuki, the head of the National League for Democracy, which saw a landslide victory in elections last November. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of people have turned out to marches across Australia protesting against sexual abuse and harassment of women in the country. They were spurred by a recent wave of allegations of sexual assaults centered around Australia's parliament. The allegations have focused scrutiny on this conservative government. Exports were 37% during the last 5 years. Reports has it that the increased exports by the United States, France, and Germany were offset by declining Russian and Chinese exports. Import and export remained close to their highest level since the end of the Cold War, although this may change from the impact of the pandemic. The biggest growth in arms imports was seen in the Middle East. This is news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM. We'll be back with entertainment and sport news. Nigeria Afrobeat star Burna Boy and Wheezy have both won awards at the 2021 Grammys. Burna Boy won the Best Global Music Album category, while Wheezy won the Best Music Video for a song with Beyonce, Brown Skin Girl from Lion King, The Gift album. Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, was also a winner on the song. And now to the world of sports. A Brazilian former professional footballer, Pele, has congratulated Cristiano Ronaldo after the Portuguese forward hat-trick against Cagliari took him past the Brazilian's legend's tally of goals scored in official matches. 173 clear of Pele's tally of 767. Some reports suggest that this is a world record tally, but that is disputed by the Czech Football Association, which claims former Austria and Czechoslovakia striker Josef Biken is football's true all-time top scorer with 821 goals. To end the news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM, here's a recap of the top stories. The Federal Capital Territory Administration Health and Human Services Secretariat has issued a circular that all staff of the FCTA are to submit themselves for the COVID-19 test. Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni said he's still looking at which of the vaccines to go for days after his government kicked off mass vaccination against COVID-19 using the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The Netherlands has become the latest country to suspend the use of the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccines with concerns about possible side effects. And in sports, we brought you notice that the Brazilian former professional footballer Pele has congratulated Cristiano Ronaldo after the Portuguese forward's hat-trick against Cagliari took him past the Brazilian legend's tally of goals scored in official matches. For any information, contact us on this mobile number 0812 0086 270 or 0812 188 9462. You can also visit us at Your State Pensioners House at Barigo, Undirike, Ibadan. The news editor is Michael Adeyemo. Yeto Ilioke led the production crew. My name is Israel Adejumobi. Thanks for listening. Good afternoon.
Oh yeah, yele, 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 yele. Cause nobody perfect. Oh yeah.